Okay. Back in the day, I mean, you could not have the internet that can do this. You know, we were watching YouTube when the cafe owners were like almost slapping you.
For me, I remember what I would do, I would load and then go and maybe cook. I come back when it has finished its work, then I wash afresh.
Yeah, so guys on YouTube, tell me if we are live.
You can copy the link and share in WhatsApp.
The YouTube link?
Yes.
Aha.
But won't it shut me down if I switch to YouTube?
I'm already on YouTube and I see you're already active there.
Oh, that's amazing. Peter, are you able to, okay, let me see if I can see live here.
Yeah, we already live. I can see.
So okay, let me out. Yeah, are you gonna share?
Yes, I'm sending to the WhatsApp.
Yeah, just put in the just put in the WhatsApp for people to see. Thank you very much, Peter. And I'm happy to hear all of your voices. Can I hear David's voice? Chris's, Sharon's, and then we go ahead.
Yeah, it's on. It's on.
I'm in a noisy environment. Really, in a taxi.
Oh, so are you on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, I'm on phone.
Safjan.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Peter, for sharing this YouTube link. Then can I hear someone else's voice, please? And we go ahead. So which week is this one? Week 6, huh?
Yeah, this is, I think, week 6.
So, okay. And it's a Tuesday because we missed a Saturday of week 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm just creating my files over here just for us to go ahead and yeah, I need to create another file which is called style.css. Okay, and then I'll start by copying styles.css from the old files and then put it here. That's called code reuse. So you use your existing code to start. It's also known as what? Something like scaffolding. I'm not really sure. So I guess people know how to do these things. So we said today we shall look at in this PHP mentorship session, we shall continue looking at what were we looking at last time? Were they operators or variables? What did we look at last time? If someone can remind me.
As operators, and I think constant, something like that.
Oh, operators and constants, huh? Constants. Have we covered constants yet? I think no. But
you hinted somewhere.
Okay, operators too. It was operators too. So we looked at some operators like the increment and assignment operators, you know. So we need to also look at comparison operators. Okay, so I'll say operators 3. Okay, then I guess people know how to do this. Those who don't know, I believe they can go back in the videos we've uploaded and they can check. Isn't that fair? Are we together?
Yes, we are.
All right. So this line this code I'm writing on line 8 is for attaching the CSS file to this PHP file. And the reason I'm doing it is that the CSS is supposed to help us make some good looking, web page. So we are not going to do anything fancy. I'm just trying to make sure that things appear in the middle of the web page. So I'll go over here, see, okay, I called it container, and I'll create something here called section class container. So for those of you who don't know, CSS works with the selectors and the properties, okay? So if you come here, the line you see, let me collapse this one. The line.
Hello?
Come again, yes, please.
Sorry for interrupting, but I'm not seeing your screen.
Other people, are you seeing my screen?
I can see the styles.css.
So that means you are seeing my screen. Do you see the entire window? Do you see the VS menu, like the file, edit, selection, view? Do you see it, Fanny?
Yes, I can see.
How can we help Sharon? Sharon, do you mind? Come again?
Let me try to leave and join again.
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting. Yeah, thank you. Let us know in case you need help. However, we also have a YouTube live. So if connecting does not show you the screen, you can as well connect to the YouTube live. But the problem is that it might bring what? Feedback, but try it. Just leave and reconnect. So members, those of you who don't know CSS, or those who want a refresher, CSS works with selectors and properties and values. So let me put it above here that CSS works with selectors and values. Okay. Sorry. Selectors, properties, and values. Where, let me see. So the syntax is like, so the syntax goes like selector, then you open the curly bracket, you put a property, you put a colon, and you put a value. Okay. If you want this selector to have more properties, you put the property here, put a colon, and put a value. So whenever you want to separate properties, you'd have to put a semicolon and then be able to put another property. Each property has to be assigned a value. So that's how CSS works. Now, the properties, the property and values we apply, there's a way they affect how a selector will appear on a web page. Like, for example, the HTML here and the body are the selectors to which we are applying these styles, where the margin is one of the properties and the values is 0. So we are saying that the HTML and the body should have a 0 margin, and they should have a 0 padding, and they should have a color of this RGB value. For the color, you can also put a word like black, but because our memory runs out of color names, we can usually use things like RGB values, hex values, and some others. And usually most programs will suggest to you the values. For example, in VS Code, if we put RGB, here they put a square, and if you hover it, you see a color picker if you want to change the color. So that's how CSS works. So how do we bring CSS in HTML? If we put CSS in an independent file, the same way we've put it in style.css, then we have to use the HTML link tag and the reference to that CSS file, and then it will affect the HTML that we are working with. Okay, so, okay, glad to hear that Sharon is saying. All right, now let's continue and look at something. So it's good to consider that if you're working on PHP, that is going to be processed at the front end. It's important to note that we use the PHP tag inside or as a child of the HTML tag. So if we say that PHP on line 12, and before line 12, there's line 11, which is the opening tag for HTML. That means PHP is a child of this section opening tag. All right. So we shall, for example, say echo hello world. And then you know that the right statement in PHP ends with a semicolon. Then to close the PHP tag, we use a question mark and a greater than symbol. And everything between these two tags will be processed by the web server. In this case, our web server is called Apache, and it's powered by MAMP, the application called MAMP. So if we go to the browser, we shall change. The only thing we shall change here is week 6. So instead of it being week 5, we shall say week 6, Tuesday, and then press enter or refresh, and hello world will appear. And you recognize that hello world is appearing somehow away from the left edge of the screen. It's doing that because of the CSS we applied. Okay, now let's continue to the operators. There are comparison operators, like the operators for checking whether something is equal to something. For example, we may want to know whether 5 is equal to 5. You see that? Whether 5 a number or integer is equal to 5, the string. And we save, and we go to the browser. Excuse me. We go to the browser here in Microsoft Edge. We shall refresh, and we get a 1. If we get a 1, that means that it's true, that the comparison we've done is true. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to write a heading, H1, which is the biggest heading in HTML, and I'll say operators, session 3. Then I'll write H2, which is a subhead, which will be a subheading, and I'll say operator comparison operators. Then after that, I'll consider that this one is, I'll put it in H3, and I'll call it equality operator, which in brackets equal. So equality operator is used to check if two things have the same values. The reason it says that is because, okay, I've refreshed for you to see what I've been writing. The reason it says that, oh, let me hold on a moment. So I want to put here something, a paragraph. And in a paragraph, I'll say, is 5 the same as 5 in the string? You know, as a question, and then we shall get the answer. And down here, I'll close the paragraph out after the PHP. Then I'll make sure, because we want to write cleaner code, I'll press enter here, and also I'll select this and then press the tab key on my keyboard for it to be pushed forward so that it appears as the rightful child of the paragraph tag. Then I will save and go to the browser and refresh. And if we ask, is 5 the number equal to 5, the string, the answer it's giving us is 1. Like I said, note, I'll put here a note. Where should I put it? I'm gonna put it here, as in I'll put a span here, and I'll say class equals to note. Yes, and then I'll say 1 is true, because usually the browser cannot write the word true because it's a Boolean. And I'll enter here, so that, because now there are many things inside this H3 tag, then I'll put a comma, and I'll say span class equals note, and this one I'll say 0. Oh, okay, I have to put that. Then I'll say 0 is false. All right, so I'll do that, and then I will save and check the browser. And yes, so the reason I put the other things in the span and I put a class on them of note, I want to go to, just a moment, I want to go to CSS and add styles for that note. So if I put a class and then I specify the note in quotation marks, that means that the way I identify this in CSS is by putting a dot before that word, and then I write the word. So that is how I select this class. If it was just a span, I would just write the word span. The same way you see that here, I wrote A, which stands for the anchor tag. Then I'll go over here and I'll say font size. I'll make the font size a little bit smaller, maybe 8.8 rem. And the color, which color can I give it?
Orange.
What? Oh, orange. Okay. I'll write it instead of putting a code, so that people can be sure that the color names work. Then I'll refresh over here, and that's it. So 1 is true, 0 is false. So now let's compare something. Before we continue, the reason it's telling us that they are equal, I'll put here something, and I'll put it outside here. I'll call it a P, and this P, I'll give it class equals description. And then I will write a P And then I'll say the reason it is true is because the string of the string 5 has been typecasted, has been automatically. Allow me to word wrap this so that you can see better. Yes, so I've done so. Has been automatically converted to integer because it's being compared with an integer. Now, after the conversion, after the conversion, the values have now become 5 in number 5 at the left of the comparison and the right. At the left and the right. At the left. Excuse me. And the right of the comparison. Sorry, I had to change it a bit. Now I will close the P tag. I had already closed it, so okay. Then I'll save. I'll make sure that it's indented properly for the code to look cleaner. Kindly remember to always make sure that your code appears clean, because clean code is the code we call, is the reason we say code is like poetry. I mean, without it, you know, yeah. So I'll come here and refresh. And what I've written is here, that the reason the above, okay, the reason the above comparison is true is because the string 5 at the right has been automatically converted to integer because it's being compared with an integer. Now, after the conversion, the values have become number 5 at the right and at the left and the right of the comparison, hence equal. Okay, hence equal. The reason I'm doing this, or another reason I'm doing this, is because I expect that some of you may apply for jobs like full-time jobs or contract jobs. And if you apply, it's good to know that to expect an interview. And if you expect the interview, that means you are most likely to get the job if you know how to give reasons like this, and if you know how to be calm, you know, not to panic. So if I refresh, yeah, we have our things. And now I have these descriptions. I want to do what? The description, I want to make sure that it's colored differently. So I'll take this description to CSS. I'll put a dot before it. And then we do this. And then I'll say color. Which color can I give this one? Members, are we there? Are we blue? Eh? Mm-hmm. Blue. Blue might be much on the might appear much on the whatever and destroy our eyes.
I'll give it a magenta.
Maybe. Magenta.
Okay,
this one. That
choose a random one.
Okay, I'll put gray. Okay, I'll say gray. Thank you for the contribution. At least that shows that we are together, and I'll refresh. Yeah, you see that? That is a little faint, but I think is it readable? I don't know. Doesn't look readable. It is readable. Okay, glad to hear. So, all right, now we can do another comparison, okay, to check whether, so for this comparison, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy all of this, select all of that, and right click, copy, and paste so that I don't have to write a lot. Now for this one, we're gonna check the non-strings. We're gonna check, is 5 equal to 4? What do we expect to get?
No.
False.
False, huh?
0.
Nice. Okay, nice. Thank you. So let's check. Let's check 1. So it's giving us 1. Why? Oh yeah, I wrote here at the view, but I forgot to write here in the PHP, which is actually this one on line number 31 is just for visibility. I think you know that already. Come again.
I'm behind.
In what terms? You get the voice led, or is it in terms of what we are
What
learning?
are we using to check that? I think I'm not seeing some parts of the code.
Oh,
what are we using?
Sorry, but are you tell me, are you able to see line number 38?
38, yes.
So the code we are on is line number 30, from line number 30 to line number 35. Yes, so what we're doing is that we have some text here, which is supposed to be seen on the browser, and the PHP down here on line number 32 up to 34, which is for comparing, and then echo out the result of the comparison. So, like, are you getting it? So we are using the equal operator, the assignment operator twice, to check whether the value at the left of the operator and the value at the right of the operator, are they equal or not? Okay. So now I think you are okay. Ignore line number 37.
If it's equal, you're telling it to echo 5 equals to 4.
No. If it's equal, what is going to happen is that all of this is an expression. 5 equal 4 is an expression. All right. Now, what is going to happen is that it will be evaluated, and the result of the evaluation is what will be is what we shall see on the screen. Yes, is what will be echoed or printed. I understand that most tutorials don't do it this way, so that's why people ignore it, and they wait until when they are in conditions or condition statements. Yet condition statements are for controlling the flow of the code, but this one is not for controlling the flow. This one is just to tell you, is this equal or not? All right. So if that's echoed out, it will be after the answer will appear after the questioning mark. Okay. Let me hope this won't make it complicated, but let me try to do this. Span class equals answer. There's something I've thought about. Span class equals answer, and then I can close the span here, then I can go. Those who are finding things complicated, please hang on. You understand with the time, okay? So I'm going to go in CSS and style the answer. The only thing I'm going to add to the answer is an underline. Okay, so I'll put the answer here, but because it's not a tag, it's a class, I'll put a dot before it. And then I will say text decoration, I think. It's to underline, okay? Then I will refresh. Oh, now our answer, wait, did I save? Yes, I saved, and this echo 4. So they have failed to echo out the 0. Just allow me put a 4 here just to see. Looks like it can't echo out the 0. Yeah, it is failing to echo out the 0. Now, what do we do in this case? What do we do in this case? If we want it to echo out, what we can do is that we can coerce this thing and maybe say int, and they make it an integer. Just a moment, guys. I understand that this could be hard for you to understand. Oh, still it's not put out. How about if I turn it to string? Will it come out? So still it's not coming out. Yeah, but we know that this is a false. However, I don't know how we're gonna display the false. And when I do, does anyone have an idea? So,
I don't.
How to print false using PHP. So that's how we do it. So they said the string concatenation operator is loosely typed. It doesn't know if you want to concat and add. Oh, so this is someone's question. So what are they saying here on the PHP website? So always don't be afraid to ask questions, okay? So here they say the Boolean type only has 2 values and is used to express truth value. It can be either true or false. To specify a bool literal, use the constants true or false. Both are case sensitive. Yeah, that's okay. But then how do we print it out?
Please, how do you print a Boolean? How do you print a Boolean?
Print a Boolean in PHP. A Boolean is either yes or no, isn't it?
So what is?
You want to print a 1 or 0. He has been able to print a 1, but the condition is not.
Yeah, that explanation is right. So unfortunately, I think the only way I can do this is by using var_dump, which I wouldn't want, but let's see. Var_dump, which is for outputting. You know what it does? Who remembers what the var dump does? Anyone there? Okay, so yeah, at least it has helped us. Hello, guys. Are you there? Or am I alone?
Following.
That's amazing. Yeah, David said that it outputs the type and value. That's very right. So it has output, we've used the var dump to output the value that we get when we compare these two. When we compare, so in fact, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna resort to the var dump when we are running these comparisons, and forget using the echo. So here we compared 5 and string of 5. And so let's see and refresh. Yeah, the answer is bool true. The answer here is bool false. And this one here, it's, what do you think? Why do you think we have a false here? Who can volunteer and give us the answer? Maybe Mr. Steven or Peter. One of the two, please. Hello, have you heard my question?
I think Peter is following from the live stream. I'm not sure though.
Okay, Mr. Steven.
Yes, David.
Yeah, I was asking that, why do you think that it's giving us, if we compare 5 equals to 4, why is it giving us a false Boolean value?
The false, or now for me the Boolean I not understand, but the false maybe.
Yeah, the Boolean, you remember when we were studying data types, we learned that there's a data type called the Boolean, and it has only two values, either the false or the true value, because the Boolean is yes.
Because of course the 5 and the 4 are two different things, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah. In which way?
If you had put 5, it would put true. That's what I think.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Anyone who can add to that or improve our answer? Somebody wrote, I have been asked. Yes, Peter, we come again with a question. So Peter, I was just, Peter is following from YouTube, and the funny thing is that YouTube is a bit behind. I think because the video has to be processed by Zoom, then be posted to YouTube. So Peter, the question was, why do you think if we compare 5 and 4, PHP is telling us that it's giving us a false value? How would you explain that?
Is it being a Boolean value or something like that? I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. So let's say, Peter, for example, you ride bicycles, right?
Yes.
So and maybe you've biked like 75 kilometers, okay?
Yeah.
And then I bike 2 kilometers, and we ask, is 75 equal to 2? what would you say?
That would be a false.
That would be a false. Why?
Because the condition of someone riding 75 is way different from a condition of someone riding 2 or 3, 5 kilometers.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
That's good.
The effort and energy incurred or used by a lot.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah. Yeah. You are totally right. Thank you for your answer. I would also say that I would simply say that the number 75 or 75 kilometers are more than 3 kilometers. Or I would say that 3 kilometers are less than 75 kilometers. So this means that there's a difference between the two. They are not similar, they are not equal. That's why we get a false. Is that clear? So the reason the above comparison gives us false is because the number 5 at the left of the expression is greater than the number 4 at the right of the expression. That's what I would say. So I would, in fact, instead of saying number 4, it's better to use the rightful term. So I can use integer because that's how PHP understands them. Gives us false Boolean. False Boolean. Is because the integer 5 at the left of the expression is greater than the integer 4 at the right of the expression. Is that clear now?
To me, it's clear now.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so the keywords here are false Boolean, greater than, integer. So you must know what you are comparing. So these comparisons, we can also do something like checking which one is bigger, all right? So to check which one is bigger, I will come down here and write the H3 and say greater than. Greater than. How did I call this one? I said equality operator. So greater than operator, which is this, okay? So I'll put it in brackets, which is the how do they call this? The greater than, yeah, symbol. And I'll close the H3, then I'll paste whatever I've copied, and I'll go to this one and say, is 5 greater than 4? What do you expect us to get, guys?
True.
True, eh?
Yes.
Okay. Who can give us an explanation why? Okay, so like you said, we've gotten true, but then how can we explain that? Hello? Okay. People wouldn't want to speak. I would consider that. So It's simple. The reason the above comparison gives us true Boolean is because the integer 5 at the left of the expression is greater than the integer 4 at the right of the expression. What did someone say? The operand on the left of the operation is greater than the operand on the right of the operation. You are putting too much logic. Really? Okay, sorry, Sharon. I don't know how I can make it simpler, but can I say, I don't know how I can make it simpler. Let me see, I made operator. Yeah, David, it's all right. Operation and operator are both okay. So now we can go to another one which checks whether this is, which checks for the less than to see which number, to check whether something is less than the other. I understand that sometimes you might want to check whether it's greater. Sometimes you may want to check whether it's bigger. Okay, so we shall go ahead here and say, just excuse me, and say H3 less than operator, which is this, and yeah. So the less than looks the opposite of the greater than, and if we compare, is 5 less than 4? What do we get?
False.
Is 5 okay? False. Is Mr. Stephen, is there a way you can give us an explanation why it's that?
David, you want to kill me?
No, why? You are not going to die. I'm very far away
You want me
from
to use
you.
the value on the left of what is what? Just stop giving
That's
me
why.
the answer. Give me some marks.
Yeah, you've gotten 110.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the reason I make you do this, answer these things is, one, to be interactive, and two, because I know one day you might be in my position. You know, one day you might be in my position where currently you might be learning just because you want to be a developer. But then the only way you understand the things better is by teaching others. So if you teach others, you get to know the words that I'm using, you know, and or even better words, and understand better. Yeah, so that's it. So it's giving us a false. So let me go and write the explanation. The reason the above comparison gives us false Boolean is because the integer 5 at the left of the expression is greater than the integer 4. Is greater than the integer 4 at the right of the expression. You could also write it in the opposite way and say, because, what were you going to say, Stephen? It's like I heard your
No,
voice.
I'm just appreciating.
You are welcome. So now we can also look at, after looking at the less than and equal, I mean less than and greater than and equal, there are also more that we can check. For example, we can check whether something is not equal to something. All right? We can check whether something is not equal to something. I'll copy this code and I'll write here the H3 and say not equal. Now, I think it's non-equality or not equal. Let me just not equal operator. And the way it's written is that we put an exclamation mark, then followed by the equal sign. I think you've seen, for some of you who have been looking at some codes, I think you've seen these things. So we can check what are we most likely to get if we compare. Is 5 equal to 4? What are we most likely to get? Anyone? Randomly. Don't be afraid.
False.
Let's build the confidence now. False, huh?
Which line? Line 71.
Line 71.
Is 5.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow. Yeah, that's for you. How would you explain that it's true?
Wait a minute.
Because 5 is not equal to 4.
Line 69 is 5 not equal to 4. Then line 71, Vadamp is check. I don't know how to read that. Vadamp 5 is not equal. Yes, it's true.
It is true, Amma.
Hey.
English was disturbing me.
That's nice. Yeah, I like. Yeah, these ones are trivial. They can get you confused.
Oma,
but
it is the not equals operator.
David, which line?
Oh, let me bring it back, Peter, for you. Line 70. Line 70.
Oh, yeah. I think that's true for me as well.
Okay, yeah, this is let's see. So who said it true? I think, yeah, it's true because congratulations, Sharon and Peter and Stephen, so congratulations, all of you. It's true that 5 and 4 are not equal. You get, that's it. I remember we used to suffer, being English being our other language. We used to be asked in primary school, even up to now, we used to ask people like things like question tags. Instead of saying, are you going? We used to ask, you are going? You see that? So this is where we started getting issues, Instead of asking, are you going? We ask, you are going. So the way we complete the sentence, the voice, the tone is what signals to the other person that we are actually asking a question. Instead of asking, are you sick? We used to ask, you are sick? Huh? So man, that's where challenges came. But all right, let's continue. So gives us true because the integer 5 at the left of the expression is not equal to the integer 4 at the right of the expression. Can we do one more?
Yes.
We can? I had one person.
After all,
yes.
After all.
Yes.
Okay, after all.
He's in Zimbabwe.
Guys, don't make me laugh a lot. So
I think one more example would be good.
how many?
One or two more examples would be good.
For the same operator or another operator?
Make it like one for the different and then the one for the last one.
Oh, okay. So you want me to give, all right, let me now bring, let's do this one, which is gonna give us a what? A false. So we are going to say is 2 equal to, no. This time let's compare strings. We are going to compare Fanny not equal to Fanny, like that. Okay. And then we put Fanny here. Is Fanny not equal to Fanny? Ha! Now this one, who can tell me? Yeah?
False.
False. Why? Why? Fanny, please tell us. Don't leave us hanging.
Because it is equal.
Example 2. So let's see. Does someone want to say something? All right. So let's see. I'll refresh over here. And we say example 2 is Fanny equal to Fanny. We get a false. Not equal to Fanny, sorry. Is Fanny not equal to Fanny? We get a Boolean false, because we know that the string Fanny is similar to the string Fanny. But how we can make them different? If the moment I come here and turn one of the F's to a lowercase, I think we shall get a true. Let's see. Let's refresh. You see that? We are getting a true because these two strings are not the same. In fact, if you are writing English and you wrote Fanny's name the same way we've written it at the right, they would mark you wrong, because nouns, are they nouns? They start with the capital letters or uppercase letters. So that's the second comparison. That's the second example for using the not comparison operator. Now let's do one operator which is about the equivalent. Right? So many people don't know that there is a difference between equal and equivalent. In programming, there is, and we shall use, I'll copy the first operator that we worked with, this one over here from line 14 up to line 24. I'll scroll down up to line 86, and then I'll say equivalent, what some people call total equality. So the equivalent uses 3 equal signs, but remember, you don't have to put a space in between these signs. The moment you do that, it won't be an operator. Okay, so I'll remove these things over here. It won't be a comparison operator. So for example, if I say 5 equivalent to string 5, I expect to get something. And this something, let me take you to the web page and you see what we are going to get. So if we say that is 5 equal to 5, they give us a Boolean false, because the 5 here is a string, and the 5 here is a number. So that means that these two things we are comparing differ in some way. How do they differ? They differ in value. They are the same. They are both 5 in your eyes. But in data type, they are different. That's why I've been putting here integer, Boolean, and string somewhere, so that when we reach to this level, you can now add or connect the dots. This one here, if we are checking equality, if we are comparing equivalence or the total equal, they are not the same, because in fact, the system has either converted this as coerced or typecasted this 5 to a string, or it has converted this 5 to a number before it compared. And that's what makes this a non-equivalent number, a non-equivalent result. So, Kale, someone can help me to explain. I want to copy the code for the description. So I'll copy this code. Whenever you are copying, you are sparing time, but when you are copying, you should copy what you understand. The reason the above gives us a false is because the integer 5 at the left of the expression is not equivalent to the string 5 at the right of the expression. Ladies and gentlemen, I would beg to bow out today and call it a wonderful night for every one of us who has endured all the way, to this level. But before we go, I want to ask you to to share some feedback. How have you found today's session? How do you feel about it? Have you learned something? Have you not learned something? I understand that many of you, majority of you, are refreshers of PHP, and some of you are total newbies or absolute beginners. So please give me some feedback. It will help me improve the content I share. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it among your friends to help me continue teaching more and more people. Okay, thank you. Now let's get to you giving feedback.
For me, it is helping me so much. And the way you teach, we are just conversing. I like it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's wonderful and encouraging. Okay, so the other people, feel free to open the mics, say something, and we call it a day. We call it a night, a day, a night. I don't know.
Thank you so much, David, for the session. For me, I think it's a very good refreshment, because like everything is like getting into place. So thank you so much.
Okay, you are welcome. Thank you for the wonderful feedback. Yeah, that's encouraging me. Yeah, someone? That was Fanny, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
All the way from Zimbabwe.
Oh man, I wish she took me, but she always want to travel with those people who have their transport. Yeah, so yeah, let's get some feedback. Yeah, more feedback and we go.
Yeah, me too on my side. It's just I'm just thankful for being patient with us, and Like Saturday was not really good, and you missed, but then you keep on delivering because you are a good teacher. You do not lose hope in your students. So
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for that, and thank you for being lenient with us.
Thank
Next
you,
time
man.
better.
Okay. Thank you, man. Yeah, we shall do better. We shall all be present next time, probably. Or I was actually thinking that we may have to cancel out the Saturdays and meet once in a week, because I understand that Saturdays are piled up with, emergencies. So, but we shall discuss in the WhatsApp group and reach a consensus. All right. Thank you, David, for the wonderful feedback.
Yeah, for me, thank you so much, David.
Wow, you're welcome.
You never lose hope in us. Every time you're like, as a beginner, like for me, PHP is new to me. It's new for me. So every time you keep on saying, don't worry. You reach a point, but whenever someone tries, if someone, it calls upon like you are that interactive with the students, that's really good, so that you don't want to leave us behind. But I think we are catching up quite slowly. If we also, as also for students, do our part and give us us also. But then for Saturdays, I was thinking, like for me, what part in Saturdays I can always make it just because of some little emergencies. But in Saturdays, like let's say on Tuesday we have covered operators, and then on Saturday we go and discuss, like let's say one-on-one, like from Mr. from all the way to Sharon, David, and then all like have that discussion, like one like that. I think we never not leaving any of us behind. Like it would be a great if some would make it. If, for instance, sometimes we are covering something and we forget about it, and then I think Saturday would be a great cover up for that time.
Okay, thank you. I've heard that. Thank you very much, and I'll try. We shall reach a conclusion on how we can really do it or approach it, or if others see it that way. But I think it's a great idea and suggestion. And on top of that, thank you for the encouraging feedback. Those kind words keep me going. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think, are we all done? Oh, no. So some people like, yeah, I think Henry and Sharon need to say something and then we go.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, you are welcome, Henry.
I've just come in for the feedback. Actually, I've been streaming on YouTube.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for being there for us since we started.
You are welcome.
We are really picking up, like on my side, really picking up slowly.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe for the Saturday, I think you would push it to 8 p.m. like Tuesday. I think people, that time we always fine, we are home, and 5 p.m. is a little bit disturbing.
Okay.
Yeah, but 8 p.m. is okay on every day, I think.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We shall see what to do. We shall continue the discussion and through the week, and we see how we handle the Saturdays. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And you've almost attended every day, everything, Henry. So thank you.
Yeah, maybe another thing, if you you help us and again share the code?
Oh, yeah.
Me actually missed.
That.
I changed the piece and lost everything. So I'm just building again.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna upload this. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna upload this code to somewhere and you download it as a folder, I think. Would that help?
Yes, yes.